Okay, so I just wanted to take a second and to point out that I'm absolutely completely figuring this out as I go. So, and as I'm going back through and I'm editing, I'm finding for sure that I definitely have a lot of parts of it wrong. So don't be super offended. And then um, also there's just a lot of there's several different ideas or concepts or things that need to be discussed about for us to do a complete sort of cross stitch or however you say um, to do the full to do the actual marriage because the marriage of the lamb's about several things or whatever um, and the religions and bringing the people together is just one of those or just a couple of those things but so like the whole issue with the non-traditional love circumstances or maybe non-traditional living circumstances um, that's the thing where 23% of people are directly affected, where they literally are somebody who is in love with the same sex or was born feeling like they were in the wrong body. Or nowadays, there's something called non-binary that the kids just totally know about it. That the kids just totally know about, which means like without gender or without, yeah, non-gender specific or something like that. And they did for a second, huh? Um, that's really nice. Anyway, but and so there's so many different people who are in a different kind of well, it says in the Bible, it says in Revelations that it says to ascend out of the abyss. You know, the beast with the woman atop, the beast that once was is no longer and yet is, um, ascends up out of the abyss with all of the inhabitants from the grave of mankind whose names had not been written into the Lamb's scroll of life at the original time of creation. I don't care for you to do that, by the way. Um, they go, that's not a lens. No, it's just a thing we do because we can. They like to mess with my life. Excuse me. Why? I don't care for that at all. Anyway, so there's a few things. So 23% of people are directly affected by that, and so then yeah, see, you made me self-conscious. Are directly affected by that, and then there's roughly now that's my little brother or that's my neighbor's kid or that's my uncle or that's my grandpa or whoever that where I'm like I know that they're in one of those non-typical love arrangements or however you say or non-typical gender circumstances I guess you could say um, anyway and so then like my if there's no hope for them if there's no faith for them then my hope and my faith is affected greatly because maybe I don't have time for God maybe I don't have time to lean towards whatever her crazy ideas are or whatever um, and that's upwards of 73% of the people or whatever and that's three-fourths of the people I mean so that's and but then like I said it literally says in Revelations that we're going to and it said those whose names had not been included into the Lamb's scroll of life at the original time of creation. I know they just totally lost me too. But they do not say it did not say those whose names are not included into the Lamb's scroll of life at the original time of creation. It says whose names were not included or had not been included, which to me is past tense, meaning that that's no longer necessarily the case. Yes, that's definitely part of what I'm doing here with and part of what the cross stitch is we're basically easing the humankind into we got to the end of the book and none of us anticipated that we would come to find out that we're actually a battlefield. It was a how do two kinds war over sovereignty when they're peaceful. And so they came together and they grew this magnetic window and they molded the fleshly vessels and they took this little piece of their heart and they placed that, or excuse me, a piece of their soul and they placed that incarnate into those small fleshly vessels. And the war over sovereignty has occurred and is raged. It has gone on and on for 6,049 years, I suppose you could say. But since Jesus the hurled the dragon down from heaven, 107 years, I believe, is what the Jehovah's Witnesses are sure about. But and that was the time. That was the time period at the end of the Bible where it talks about that Satan will be released for a time to try to retest, to try to whatever the people to try to and it's all part about judgment and all part about judging the people. But we were a battlefield, we were a means to a place for them to have a war as a peaceful kind, and the war's over. We proved that without love it fails, it just fails, and we proved that only love conquers all. And yeah, I actually helped I actually have been arguing for a lot of things on the people's behalf. I just have, and one of the things is we are officially, as of right now already, if you believe in it. I know how cheesy that kind of sounds. A lot of it sounds cheesy, but we are literally officially the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, rather than evil and good like we once were, from all the trees, from all the knowledge trees of the garden, however you say. But we are no longer they no longer have a need for us because our purpose has been served. And we know of at least 5 alien kinds as human beings, right? Well, and then there's 5 alien kinds we know about. This was 5 o'clock news some time ago. Information that got declassified. Okay, but yeah, it's really rude. Yeah, their gaslights are awesome. But so we know that at least 5 alien kinds, whatever. And then I know that there's also demons, and I know that there's also the angels. And it says Jehovah of armies. Well, I know he reigns sovereign, so I would assume he reigns sovereign over all the armies. But then, like, I would have to assume that Jehovah must be an ancient alien angel or something to that effect, because our human beings we have our leaders of our armies are humans, and our armies are made of humans. So if his army is made of angels, then his leader must be an angel. So then if Satan's armies are made of demons, then Satan must be a demon, right? In theory. And so then, and I know that Jehovah's the one who created the angels as far as the people is concerned, as far as at least that's what I thought. And so he would have created. So then he must have a kind. He must have a kind. I mean, that's the only thing that. So I would assume that Satan is either an ancient alien angel as well, just like an, or he would be. Will he be a demon too, right? So demons must be one of the kinds, angels must be one of the kinds, and then we know of at least 5 other alien kinds. And my whole life I thought I was going to get to name the 16 kings, so I guess it must have been psychic for the 16 kinds. But then I wasn't counting the ancient alien angels I wasn't counting the empty spacers, I call them, the one who created the kinds. Somebody is the one who created the kinds. I call those the empty spacers, and they weren't counting themselves. So technically, we would be the 17th kind. But we have to prove ourselves worthy to step into the universal flower, because they're all peaceful, and we are not. We are causing a great amount of harm. But they think that we're really cool and that we're complex, and they like to give us a chance. So there's we're no longer team darkness versus team good like we were, team evil versus team good like we were. We're now, it's not team dark and team light, it's team life. Like, if we want to have a chance to step in and become a kind eternally, the way that there's so far 16 other kinds, then we need to get our act together. And there's some major inhumanities that I've been honored to live through. Yeah, I've been honored to live through them. Isn't that great? To live through the different various inhumanities that are happening to people. Anyway, and we need to get to curing those inhumanities, and it's just time to get good or get gone. And that there's nothing. The majority of people whom we're going to be welcomed back into heaven are there already. The majority of them, not all of them. There's a small, maybe 3% or something, but the majority of them. The rest of us rejects, we're supposed to become the fallen so that we could become the eternal. When I won the war over a year ago in 3 different ways, I asked for the leaders of the different kinds to be allowed to speak with the leaders of the other kinds, which is a thing that was not allowed previously. I asked for fluidity so that as things change, we can change the rules, because we're complex and things evolve. So we need to be able to let the rules bend and evolve as well. And then I asked that the demons, but I thought the demons were the people. I thought they were together as one. So there's a lot of things that are the demons the people? Anyway, so I'm the one who voted to let them have their freedom of will, not their powers, but their freedom of will, like that nobody could force them to do things anymore. But that was probably a mistake, I suppose. Anyway, offering chance for re-choice. It doesn't matter. People is a people. People have opportunity to get their act together, or we'll be done being a people. And then we would go into judgment, and judgment would be the small 3% of us that make it up to heaven, which is sad, because if we do eternal, then those in heaven are supposed to step down. Will they already have stepped down? Have already stepped down. The ones that had an earthly hope. Some of them have a heavenly hope that remains heavenly, even if life eternal occurs. Some of them are back in heaven and they're like, don't make me go back down. The other ones are abyss or second death. They said they just want you guys, they just want us to start making progress. It's been a year already. They just need us to start making progress. They don't know why I didn't get vacation mode. They don't know why you guys are treating me so crappy. They don't know. Sometimes it is what it is, and I say like, oh, it doesn't matter, but in this circumstance, it very much so matters what the people think, because it's a choice. You have to choose, and you guys made it so that people don't ever want to choose me, don't ever want to follow me. And it's not a vote. It's not like God chose me. It's my life breath. It's my genetic code. It's who I am. It's who I've always been. I was. I'm Traci. And Traci talks. That's what she does. That's what I do. Believe me, that is what I do. So, yes, and they cut my teeth out. I'll go ahead and say that one more time. And I do not have contacts in my eyes. In case that's the thing you wondered about also. My number is, 8. August 8th is my birthday, 8/8, so 8883 is my birthday. So I've always been 8th, and then from the rib. But 8883 makes me Leo the Lion by the stars, and I'm sorry, whether or not you, I know the whole spiritism thing, I do my tarot cards, but I take them out of the box and I touch them in my hands, and then I'll say a prayer to God about it, while I'm touching them in my hands, and then I'll spread them out, and I'll set them right on my Bible, open up my Bible, and I'll set them on my Bible, and because I understand that if those cards are in any way, shape, or form going to be able to foretell the future, to have power of prophecy, then that comes from God. I'm not confused about that at all. And so, like I said, God knows every hair in our head, every star in the sky. And so I believe that there probably very much so was a rhyme or a reason with the exact alignment of the stars at the exact moment of that I came into this world, or that any of us came into this world. So I'll give a little bit of weight to some of the astrological stuff. But yeah, that's a nice gaslight, the teeth thing. But Leo the Lion then, and lions are kings, so they're giving me really bad dry mouth too. It's weird the things they do to me, like constant. They're like, you look so ugly most of the time. This is true. And I'm really pretty sometimes. Anyway, I feel like I didn't finish my statement. And they're making me have a lot of forehead wrinkles. What was my point? Anyway, it's me. That's who I am. Oh yeah, and being from the rib makes me king also.